we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your patience as we get into the action here of Game 1 here between Team Falcons and Team Spirit. Let's see how this one plays out. Bounty runes are going to be going 3 over the way of Team Falcons to start things off.
Cool. And let's see what Snaking's able to do on the Chen overall. Playing versus the Hoodwink, as we've said a million times, this hero does seem... Hoodwink overall does seem to be one of the best, if not the best, pressuring for. So let's see if they can withstand the pressure of this very strong lane that they do have on Spirit down bottom. Primal Beast, I think I've seen Collapse do various different builds on this hero, either going down the Aura route or just going for his own, like phase boot drums, pressure.
And this mid matchup, I mean, DK and Tiny, I feel like these two mids are kind of the kings of denying.
Yep.
Who kind of takes the edge in the denying in this matchup?
It depends, right? Because you're getting breathe fired on one end, and the other end you have a trigrammed in another situation. So I feel like it's a pretty much skill matchup. But I can see Laurel do very well in this matchup versus Malrine because he can put the harassment onto him. So I don't see DK do bad. I don't see DK do bad in these matchups, or any matchup. Really.
No, I'd say, yeah, it's almost certainly going to be close to the outcome of this lane. But yeah, maybe Laurel will indeed be able to get that slight edge.
But we'll see, because also Tiny, the toss, the crash landing is absolutely insane at this point in the game, too. Like, it's just got
crazy damage.
Yeah, it clears creep wave so early on in the game, so see how many denies do come out. And yeah, I did mention before about Crit going for the full bore. So very different type of stop, but very understandable since he's playing versus the Morphling on the Dawn.
That's for sure, right? You're going to have this high chance of maybe even getting a surprise kill on him.
Yeah,
unlikely, because Radahn, we know his Morphling is very, very strong. He's not going to get caught like that. You can see on the badge at the top, level 30 Morphling here. But you never know. It does happen to some of the greatest Morph players.
Let's see if Crit what he wants to do here, because Miposhka, he's got a lot of stacks on him. Yeah, he'll have to just TP. The beauty about Shadow Demon right now is it feels like he's one of the best 5s to secure lanes just because of Menace. I feel like people really do write that one off quite a lot, but I've seen Miposhka kill almost any hero lately as a Shadow Demon, especially in the last tournament. He was playing like, I feel like his versus like a Bat Rider, and he was solo killing a Bat as a Shadow Demon at level 1 and 2, which is a big deal.
At bottom lane. I guess the real question is indeed when like the level 3s come out for both sides. Yeah. I mean, if Mirror and Collapse, it feels like they could go for kills, because how much is a Chen going to be able to hold back these two heroes when they get on top of one of the two of you? It's going to be difficult to keep yourself safe. I guess they're just going to make sure all possible times that their HP is pretty much topped up. Yeah,
they do at least have a stun in the lane, right? Sven does help a lot versus something like the Primal, but could be a dangerous lane if they do step out of position. That being said, though, Snake's literally just burning all of Mira's mana, so it's a pretty cool approach to prevent the Hoodwink being able to get that spam out, just this Satyr. And he even gets the deny on his own Satyr as well, too, so. Laurel having a fantastic time in mid for now.
Oh, what a nice little courier snipe there from Crit. That's the little Shredder at level 2 is able to take that out.
Even gets the blast onto the Morph there from a distance.
Stops Shredder from being able to get that early ban of Elgin skin. He's trying to get in. Early stats to help him with the CS. Every little counts towards trying to make this area of the map eventually a place that Amar on the Brood is going to have complete control of.
Amar shouldn't have any troubles up here getting any of that farm versus the Morph. He should have pretty much free. Gonna start seeing these tosses for that extra CS, but yeah, Laurel's actually quite a decent margin ahead now in these first few waves.
Yeah, he's doing very well. I mean, he's got this whole wave coming in onto him as well, so easily a wave advantage so far against Mallory. And I guess we expect the DK to have a slight edge, but this is definitely a little bit more so far than I would have expected on paper.
Yeah,
so Laurel playing very well.
He barely missed really many CS at all, right? I think he's been 24.
That's true, yeah, close to perfect.
Almost perfect besides those denies on the Tiny, so very nicely done from Laurel. Bounty for bounty exchange. Mira checks his at the same time that Crit's checking the one up top. So similar kind of movements even from the supports. Even though it's not like an impactful movement, it's still just grabbing these bounties, which could deny it away from one of these two mid laners. Probably the DK, if anything, or the Tiny, because DK doesn't go bottle, but I'm curious to see when the moves come out around these, who's going to make the first move around to one of these side lanes, because, Laurel, if Malrine does move from the mid lane, of course there's going to be that pressure, so are they going to make the move to the mid? That's usually where we do see it, but do they have kill threat on these tanky cores? We'll have to see. Did get too many stacks onto him there, but just bothering him, not letting him kill any more couriers.
I mean, and as the lane goes at the moment between Amar and Radahn, Amar getting the edge in with the denies. having that slightly better time. So, Crit, he's not too fussed with the fact that he's just kind of keeping the Shadow Demon interested in himself, being a bit of a distraction, and letting Amarr play the lane 1v1 for the most part.
And these webs do have quite a bit of an effect onto something like Morphling, right? Like,
True.
I'm just watching him try to stand outside of the web AoE in a couple of these situations and move up to regen, because this 20% reduction is pretty painful.
Amarr definitely very happy with the lane start. Leader Radan is going to have quite the work cut out for him ahead of this, as this won't be a free lane.
Laurel's going to have 6. Good amount for the time, actually, with this next wave coming in.
I do have pretty aggressive supports to be able to bring across and set up with Laurel. You see this Hoodwink and the Shadow Demon both with pretty nice setup to kind of harass the Tiny out of the lane and set up to push the tier 1 tower rather early.
Got 4 stacks.
They're in with the cookie. He's able to pop Crit first, though. So first blood goes the way of Miposhka, but Amarr will be able to take a solo kill in return, getting that XP all for himself.
One of those situations where it's like, nice play by the 5 position, but then also Amar's like, good job, Crit. Yep. I've got a free lane now, and he might hit 6
got
even
out the
earlier.
way, and then, yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
This Brood start for Amarr is going rather fantastic.
Yeah, they do get the bottle refill out of it as well, too, so it's a death, of course, for Crit, but it's going to, of course, have its own benefits. Malrine, not quite level 6. The support rotations are coming, but now he's at 6.
Look at the avalanche, but disruption there from Miposhka to hold back Malrine. Gonna keep Lars safe as Lars able to keep his distance, continue to poke damage back in onto Tiny. They'll turn over towards Miposhka. They can set up. Good cookie here from Crit. Toss forward as well onto the 2 of them, and that's a kill with the blast, the final punch there from Malrine. So support rotations coming in on the mid, but ends up succeeding more for Team Falcons.
There could definitely be a difficulty for Team Spirit to bring down this Tiny early game. Their damage overall, until like Hoodwink hits 6, until like the Primal Beast rotates in, I don't think they're going to be able to bring down Malrine. So I think bringing these rotations to this Tiny is going to be pretty nice for the side of Falcons, just to set him up for success, because Malaro's not going to be able to push this tower, and that's ideally what you want to have happen as this DK. They're going to get a toss back, too.
Very, very nice toss back there underneath the tower. Crit coming in as well with the body blocks, trying to get as much damage in as possible from the tower. Lars going to try for the TP out. It's a good move from him. Gets himself back to safety. But indeed, Falcons, we're seeing this pressure coming in on the mid, just trying to do what they can to stop Lyle from being able to get that early damage onto the tier 1 tower, despite obviously the laning success that he had, hitting that 6, having that edge with the denies and such in terms of the XP. Falcons, they're making sure that they deal with that and don't let this Dragon Knight get out of control.
This top lane's now definitely an issue. I'm wondering who wants to make the rotation up here toward Amarr, because they do not have...
with the Spider?
Honestly, they might have to move. They might have to swap where the Primal Beast is at some point so they don't just lose towers too fast. Miposhka starting to get chased out. The spider block.
Nice blocking here from Amarr, indeed, surrounding Miposhka with the spiders. All this Brood.
Could be a big problem.
It absolutely does at least feel like the beginning of one.
And overall, bottom, the lane that could have been that maybe dangerous lane for the Sven, he's completely endured it because of snaking, just burning the mana off the Primal, burning the mana off of the Hoodwink as well, and he's been stacking. So Skitter, after having a pretty successful lane, not dying at all, now has these huge stacks to go back to as a Sven. Pretty damn good start here for Falcons. And even though the rotation's coming from Laurel, they can put some pressure onto the tower, as we said, for killing Malrine. It's just not really an option for them until they do have more levels. This Tiny set looks kind of cute.
Oh, which set has he got?
He's got the turtle shell. It's
the new one.
The new one, yeah.
Oh, very nice, very nice indeed. You get it, I think, when you've got like the level 3, or you have, well, I think, yeah, level 3, you get the crab on your back as well, crawling around.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah, you've not seen it, like a little red crab crawling around on the back of it. It's very cool.
Okay, so who goes top? Okay, that's the question for me for Spirit. Who wants to deal with the Amarr pressure? Or do you just...
got to be, surely you just got to bring your offlane duo up there.
I think so,
you get sort of the setup with the Hoodwink, and then you're able to come crashing in, grab the spider with the pulverize.
It's either that, or you make the rotation to mid, and you try to pressure the tower super hard, and you sack your safe lane tower kind of in a way in order to get the mid. But let's see what they do look to do. Maybe they do bring a rotation afterwards if they get a good position where Amar's too deep to be able to get a rotation from the Primal.
They're trying to make a go on him. He's got the backup and mirror at his side. Cookie won't quite connect onto the turn of the bushwhack holding him back, but Snake King.
He's here.
He's trying to like do a little bit of body blocking by this week, trying to catch onto Lal. The damage here.
So outrageous.
It's so much burst, and the final right click from a Chen takes the DK down. That's a pretty sad way to go out there, getting right clicked by a Chen.
Between the toss and their full-bore scatter blast, they have some pretty insane long-range burst damage for these heroes.
I mean, it's the toss mainly, right?
It's the toss mainly. It is definitely
it's so much damage.
Yeah, did Lara actually pick up a... I've seen what some people are doing. It obviously does not solve the issue of the damage, but I've seen a lot of people picking up raindrops and stuff just to endure the toss.
It feels like you might need something. I mean, at the moment, right, he's at least with the Q, time Q, he's trying to go for that blink dagger rush, so very much feels that he's got to be that way to get things started and be the one to jump in first.
So far, Falcons with a very nice lead, though. 4-1. All 3 cores farming. Sven under no pressure, and there's a brood problem. There's absolutely a brood problem.
Yeah, that's the main thing. There's not a soon available clear answer to the fact that Amar has had a very free lane.
They're going to try. They're going to bring the primal with the disruption.
They got to get him out of this lane. They've got to try and shut him down. They'll
get the grab.
With the pulverize, they should have the burst. They do. Goes the way you want to see it go as well if your Team Spirit. RIYADH able to get the final touch and take Amar down.
It's got to go like that, right? Like, Collapse has to be the one to pretty much move in the early game every time to get the catch. He's going to immediately go through the portal right afterwards, so it's a really solid move to at least shut down the brood. But the net worth so far, you can see the Falcons still just getting way more out of the map, at least here in this early laning phase.
Amar still able to be annoy RIYADH from the grave there. Was able to snipe his courier up over the spiders.
Mira walking up the hill blind.
Falcons, yeah, they were very set up for that quick kill.
And immediately the Morphin comes back to lane. Amar is there again, and they're probably like, we might have to just somehow swing Collapse back up there soon again.
Like, you just keep doing this over and over again, because despite the fact that they made that move and they succeeded, but this net worth, it just continues to grow for Falcons.
It's a difficult call to make, really is. Laurel, again, getting chased. So much stun, so much damage. Great blocks.
Yeah, blocks here from Malorine. Toss again, look. Easy kills in this mid. I mean, Spirit, this is a rough early game to try and get through and to try and make the call of what to do. I mean, you just have to avoid fights completely, let Falcons get what they want, and just hope that RIYADH on his Morphlings eventually able to carry you to success.
I think you probably just have to rely on Collapse for your early game at this point. Make sure that every single one of these Primal Beast rotations hit. If they don't, definitely going to be some big issues that happen when the map starts shrinking. We do see RIYADH, though, his net worth isn't so bad, right? Versus the Sven in comparison, at the least, he's only about 300 behind. It just, they need to find places to open up the map for him, and bottom does look like it's going to be that place for now. But they've already lost that top tower. Brood takes it so much faster, and this tower is not dropping too fast at all. They don't want to swing Laurel down. Laurel doesn't have ulti, he's just hitting some jungle creeps for the time being. So it does take him a little bit longer to bring down this tower, which means Brood is poking tier 2, Owen. The tier 2 is half HP top.
Uh-oh.
Got to bring Collapse up there.
I mean, yeah, this Brood is getting to proportions in which...
Oh! He caught him with the toss.
I mean, toss, it's an incredible... It's a spell in the game of Dota 2, Fogged.
It is.
It is a spell of all time.
Oh, and things are crumbling quick. 8-2. The mid tower now in jeopardy as well. Falcons speeding things up.
Yeah, they're crushing it. They really are.
It's a blink dagger, I believe, on Malorine already. It's going to become... It's 20 gold away, but he's already playing around mid. He's got it now finished. And he does, of course, find Fairy Trinket. I do have to point that out as well, too. So even more toss damage, of course.
I mean, I guess this is the problem when you're drafting against Falcons. There's kind of so many things that have got to go. But after this, I feel like you've at least got to take the Brood and the Tiny or something. These two... Malorine on the Tiny, it seems completely busted.
I think
more
Tiny's
so
gotta
than the
go.
hero is just at a base level. You know, Malorine is just pushing it to its limits, and then Amar and the Brood. How can you let this happen? I mean, he's 6.5k net worth, 11 minutes in. He's smashing these timings on his the Orchid. I mean, and everything to follow after. You can only imagine it's going to come out at incredible timing. He's just getting so much.
Anyone who comes up is dead, even
I can't
Collapse.
imagine any team here wants to play against this Brood Mother. Top lane, they get the setup. The TPs are coming in, so they might be able to do something in response.
Okay, Leposhka's there.
They get the save.
Can they counteract it at all?
Collapse still might die. He's got to run away. Onslaught off to the side. The kisses are coming in. Is Kraven to find him with the connection?
Just one needed. And Laurel now.
The kill. They're turning over towards Laurel. They're going to almost certainly get him as well. The Avalanche comes in. Crypt with the double as he snipes him with the scatter
The base
blast.
isn't safe.
I mean, Amar's diving the tier 3s. He's just 12 minutes in, and he's going to get away with it. Leposhka's dead.
These guys are too good. This is devastating. I mean, the early game is broken. We're already into the mid game. It's 12 minutes in. They've got Mech, they've got Blink, they've got Orchid, they've got key timings on pretty much every hero, it feels like already. Tier 2 already under a ton of pressure. And the Morphling, the problem is Morphling can't help you. Now that everything's kind of gone away and gone so poorly, Morph can't turn up to kind of help and fix any of these problems. Mira,
He's got to run.
one more toss is all it takes if they want to chase.
I mean, they're doing so well so far and having such a lead, we might not even get to the point where we get to see the cool red crab on the back of the timing.
That's very true.
The game might be over before then. We'll see the replay again once more of this dive up top. I mean, there was a point where the TP's come in, Collapse isn't dying too quickly. They get the save off. It's like, okay, maybe Team Spirit's able to get out of this alive with their cores. But spoiler, they weren't able to, Fogged.
No. And they don't have a response. There's not really damage, to be honest with you. I see, Mid-Post got good TP to save people, but Hoodwink's still not level 6. Everybody's full HP anyway, but they're just getting ran at and dove too far. The 1x1 there from Spirit.
I know, I've never seen any tier 3 dives at 12 minutes in throughout the whole of the play-in stage so far. And here we go straight into the groups. First game for Falcons. They're here, and yeah, first game, they're diving tier 3s at 12 minutes in.
Yeah. I think Tiny's probably the most one to go, because I think, it's had a 90% contest rate so far, even in the play-ins.
This hero is crazy. You give it to a team like Falcons, you give it to a player like Malorine, it's you're playing Dota 2 on the hardest of difficulties.
Yeah, even though Laurel, as we said, he had a very good matchup in the mid lane. He actually pulled off very, very well. Just 1 or 2 rotations. They don't have a kill threat onto Malorine, and then Malorine apparently just has massive kill threat, even though it's DK, who's supposedly this tanky hero. Does not look like it.
We heard as well, Yatoro changed his name. One of the reasons why, because he's an Elden Ring enjoyer.
Sure.
He likes games that are hard. He likes the suffering. But this is kind of, this is
maximum.
This is Elden Ring on a difficulty that's a bit above that of the game itself. So this game a little bit harder.
It's probably on one of the hardest modes you possibly can. Your Morphling has a not even a Yasha, and there's the blood. The Orchid already finished up time ago. Map definitely going to shrink. Spirit have to at least try to play more if the not being 1v1 TPs or anything like that. But even if they do go as a unit at this point, they have fallen so far behind so fast. The Chen almost similar net worth as that DK now at this point. So Laurel's timing's just... he's going to blink, but what's going to happen with the blink afterwards? They'll maybe be able to get a kill or two, but overall in a fight, it's going to be disastrous. I mean, Amar, already knowing, he's high-fiving these towers, knowing how big of an advantage they already have. And they're not going to let up. Smooth.
Just sort of sweep across the map, take these towers, and know that there's very little, really, that Spirit can do in terms of showing up. At the moment, it's Radahn on his Morphling that has the most farm.
Another one.
He's not going to want to be involved in any sort of action. They could kill anyone, plus more.
Literally anybody. There's definitely no team fight that can come out here from Spirit.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Sven also has Skater's had a quiet game, but a very nice one. He's just like, thank you guys, great job. Seen this a couple of times, of course, here for Falcons when they just demolish that mid and off lane. And Snag looks like he wants to at least apply some pressure onto the tier 2 mid. And Pushka says he wants his team to defend here. If they do overextend, that's where Spirit can look to fight back, as long as they have the numbers, but they need absolutely everybody, it feels like, and they still could lose people.
Allah's got his blink. Okay. They're going to come out for a smoke, but it's definitely one of those situations in which he knows he's got to be the one that has to go in.
And it's first neck and
it's going to feel pretty terrifying going in. Because if you go in, you're probably not coming out alive at this point unless something absolutely fantastic happens behind you. They're going to try and jump the Chen, see if they can burst Snaking. I mean, Snaking only barely gets brought down to half HP. Miro, can he line up the sharp shot? Onto Amar he can, but not onto Snaking. So Snaking's able to heal up. That's the Blink Dagger reveal, and kind of as expected, didn't do a whole lot at this point, Fogged.
No. Snag patient, just waiting to get the opportunity to use the Mac. He still has Hand of God.
Yeah. He didn't even break a sweat out of being jumped like that. You could see indeed he was, but not spam pressing all the abilities, the items. He knew he was perfectly fine, despite Team Spirit trying their best to target what on paper at this point should be the easier hero to kill. But even that hero, pretty much impossible to kill as it seems. Yeah. Falcons 10k net worth lead here, 15 minutes in.
They're covering each other nicely too, right? If they go on the Chen, you see Malorine just instantly stuns, covers the backline so there's no follow-up. And I didn't see it, but there might be like a cookie to disjoint the stun that comes out there from the Hoodwink as well too. So they have all these ways to kind of counter the jump that can come out from Spirit. And now they're just getting so big at this point. Skater is level 13. He hasn't even had to get really involved. He's going to have Blink as well, too, so they can force the issue. And speaking of force the issue, looks like it's Roshan time. And Spirit not in a realm of being able to contest that.
No, not at all. This is... I mean, we did see some kind of one-sided games during the play-in stage, but this one's up there.
It definitely is. It's not over at 16-minute marks per se in terms of buildings dying, but it might be over in terms of per se of how much pressure Falcons can make. Radon getting closer to Manta, which is one of his big timings, but his other two cores just have nothing. They've gotten nothing yet. Collapse getting closer to BKB.
Radiant's bottom tower.
At least for like a straight-up team fight, but Falcons just getting more and more. Wonder what Amar is going to look to purchase. Sitting on 3.3K.
Oh, yeah. Has he got anything queued up?
He's been queuing up a lot of things.
Okay.
He's switched it like
Lincoln's
8 times, so...
Oh, Lincoln's feels a bit too safe for him, though. Oh, he's going to do it. He's a sensible man here.
He might just want to close it up. Oop, having some lag. They might just look to like go for a high ground push with this Aegis on. I think it's a possibility.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if they were ready to dive tier 3s at 12 minutes in, I think with an Aegis at this point and this lead, they're certainly ready to go again. Get in there, get some sort of toss-back setup. I mean, we saw there as well, Skiddy just picked up his Blink Dagger, so multiple ways to get in and start the fight. And many a hero that do not mind jumping straight into the base with how strong they are at this point in time on Team Falcons.
Crit also getting very close to a vessel, so these heroes are quite far away from those BKBs besides Collapse. Great versus the triple cores. All 3 of them can suffer, even though if there's going to be a Manta from the Morphling, you can only dispel so many things. They're getting all these timings, and they're prepared for, I would imagine, every single one of these fights. So Spirit just has to be careful, just to really split and hope. It's a big hope, of course, but that they can hope to get this Morphling to a stage where he feels comfortable, but that feels like it's a very, very long time away.
Let's see. Apologies again, ladies and gentlemen, for this momentary pause, but it looks like all the players are on their way back into the lobby. I think we're still just missing Malrine.
It just looked like a little bit of lag for a second there.
And we'll be able to see what Falcons want to do next with the Aegis.
They're set up for mid. Like, Crit's already in a position where he can left the TP fast to the mid tower, so if they want to just, they can defend this tower, they can pressure as well too to force TPs back, but I imagine they probably don't want Spirit to get literally anything extra out of the map, so just defending the tier 1, killing whoever does show. They might even just swing and just fight, so. Spirit just have to be very aware of that and keep trying to attempt to, split push, get the farm up for this Morph, but it's a tall ask.
Here we go, back in action. Let's see what they want to get done.
Trying to poke mid.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's so dangerous to even poke here. Yeah, Laurel literally hits the tower twice and instantly blinks out. Just a very scary position.
Fortification has come out immediately here from Spirit. As soon as Falcons show themselves on the high ground, they quickly TP back over towards the mid.
Keeping the front TP fast still. You see them preparing this defense. Mounting TP's tier 2, so front TP, they're probably telling each other, TP's a fast one if they do look to go for a play. Maposhka? Won't get caught by the stun. Right on the outskirts. But they deter that push in mid. Everyone on Spirit trying to find farm where they can on the map. Maybe even cutting waves, it looks like, just to stop any extra pressure onto these lanes, but this tier 2 mid, one more hit, it's pretty much dead.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
It's kind of like, this desperation mode from Spirit, just trying to find what they can.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Malrine.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Ready to make that jump if he catches sight of any of them. There's 3 of them right now playing around this point.
Find a courier, know where they are.
It's the Greaves recipe, so quite a nice snipe for them to find.
Might get another too. Yep, they'll find another courier as well too, so decent little kills.
Yep. So 2 big item upgrades that Falcons won't have to play with.
Yep, and they're cutting waves too. Laurel starting to get a bit of farm here. The Manta finished up for Radon, so even though he's still quite a ways away from that Sven, starting to get at the least his itemization. And he is going to do the build that we've seen him do in pretty much every single one of his Morphling games and more. Just Manta straight into the butterfly if he's able to. It's gonna take time. See if they can buy that time. They do have good hero. They have these annoying heroes to cut waves. The Hoodwink in particular. Might get caught this time around. Skeeter's right on top of him, but is being very pesky.
This time Malrine ready to make sure that they're not able to cut the creep wave. Mirror is out with a TP. They have managed to grab the creeps once more, so can look to try and push down the mid.
They stopped the entire acceleration in the last 4 minutes.
They did. They've slowed it down.
At least for Spirit, right? Yes, it's been kind of consistent, just sitting at that 10K since they got the Aegis. And yeah, they're just waiting for at least a timing. BKB is done for Collapse. They do have that Manta on that Morphling as well, too. DK still a bit of ways away from another item. He actually has a Mage Slayer coming out, so maybe with 3's 3-core, if they see an opportunity of Falcon overextending, they can punish Mira. Probably won't be so lucky.
Just immediately burst there. Orchid into the Scatter Blast and the toss, and now up to the high ground they go. Team Spirit, what do they got? Collapse has got his BKB, so does have a way to get in there, but at the same time, I don't think they'll struggle too much to kill him off through the BKB, especially when they're just grouped up as this fight, man. They're pushing these buildings. I mean, Spirit.
And they're not overextending.
They can't do anything. Godstreng's popped by Skeeter. He's able to take his, ready to swing round towards the mid and maybe just go for more.
Spirit has to hope for an overextension, but Falcons is just playing for the buildings. They're playing for the objectives for now. Got a jump.
Some of the jump. They're going to see if they can try and burst through the Sven. There's going to be a toss back to safety. But Collapse is never getting on top of the three of them. Burst and play. They're able to take Skeeter down. Collapse looks over towards Snake King. Gets the grab as well. On towards Amar. They're taking out the Chen. They're taking out the Brute. They're taking out the four of them.
They might get the Tiny too.
Maori's the last one left alive, but the Bushwhack setup's there. Sure, he's got the Aegis, but on his own, they should be able to deal with him twice.
Oh
Team
my
Spirit,
goodness.
they're able to hold. They only lose the top set of racks. They won't be losing the mid set of racks, and they'll be keeping this game alive long with a triple kill. This game, it ain't over yet, and it won't be a stomp, Fogged.
Nope, they're completely back in it, honestly.
Wow.
That is an amazing jump. Collapse catches everybody with the charge through, right?
Yeah, check this out again.
They're all clumped up. He hits all the creeps
the way they
and
went.
3 heroes.
Gets the call to get. He starts things onto the Sven. It's a nice toss back, but indeed Collapse straight in on top of them. Knows to go straight over to the side. Doesn't need to grab Snake King as he knows he's going to get caught in the AoE at the slams as he pounds down Amar with a pulverize. Beautiful defense, and honestly, one that I don't think Falcons saw coming.
I don't think anyone did.
They felt very much in control of this game. They quickly took the top racks. They were ready to go straight away for the mid racks. They underestimated Spirit's defense, and now with that, there's only a 4K gold difference now with the Tormentor being taken, but considering what it was before, Spirit, they're absolutely back in it. Look at some of the individual net worths, right? Redan,
they're pretty much back.
He's caught right back up.
Absolutely.
He's up there. Lars pretty close behind. Spirit, they're here to give us a game.
I'm sure Falcons is kicking themselves a little bit with how much they stacked. Collapse literally hit everybody. It was like 3 or 4 heroes he gets with the charge through, and all of the Chen creeps as well, too. They tried for a toss back, but Spirit.
Yeah. I mean, definitely, I think, without a doubt, one of those situations that, you know, Falcons, they turn up, this is the first game, they're like, we're crushing this, and then this maybe got a little too comfortable, and indeed get caught off guard, as you said, with their positioning.
Yeah. Thought it would require more of an overextension, but it seems like if they just stack like that and Collapse gets that type of charge through.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful.
And he's going to be even more ready for it next time, trying to get this Veil into the Shiva's guard.
They also have, I believe that is that the butterfly pretty much done? It's almost there.
Redan, like, his farm has just skyrocketed after that cleanup in that fight. He's up there, level with Skeeter. And again, just a crazy swing back. Sure, the gold overall lead is still there for Falcons, but you just can't underestimate just how big of a swing that was, considering how much it looked like Falcons were potentially moments away from maybe even closing the game if they played it right.
Absolutely. With all these auras that they're building up on the Chen, right? They're still going to look to probably ball up, look for another play here. They have the BKB on the Sven.
Big stuff here from Spirit.
They've completely caught it back up.
Redan's getting the chance to go, and now the game is absolutely a point. Even if like the next fight or so doesn't go too great for Spirit,
they can stall.
Yeah, this Morph, Redan on his Morphling, he's ready to carry.
Yep, and Mira even too. Mira did not go down the route of the Atos first. He knows he has to play for the farm, so Maelstrom to be able to keep that farm going, to delay the game more. And Laurel now does have a secondary item finished up after that Mage Slayer just off of that one fight.
Are they going to try and go against Falcons?
They still want to try to close it up and get one big opening to take that next rack. So Spirit has to be careful with their positioning.
Sure, but this time they don't have the Aegis. Sure,
they do not.
First, you would imagine we're not going to see them get caught in the same fashion that they did on that last failed push by by Falcons.
Spirit's ready for this move, though. Look, DK already comes back.
They've got items.
They're prepared for this pressure play from Falcons. Super fast butterfly timing. I mean, especially with all things considered.
Yep.
They're actually going to smoke and maybe catch Falcons off guard here.
Maorine's watching from the high ground, but they're ready to get the jump on him with the Dragon Tail. Collapses him with the follow. They're looking to burst through the Tiny. Maorine's gone in an instant.
He even used the BKB, but they get the grab right away. Now they all got to run.
Now Falcons have got to back off. Very, very impressive stuff here from Spirit.
Snay still playing in the area, but they don't have their Tiny. Laurel's going to jump in for him.
There's going to be the setup and Collapse. He's ready with the follow-up. Straight in with the onslaught. Over the wall, Snake King, Crit, Skitter. Is there anything they could do to help their Chen out? I don't think so. Collapse blocking off the escape of Snake King as he'll go down.
And Crit
also in trouble. Ooh, he's able to TP away just in time before the Dragon Tail comes out and connects on towards him. So he'll escape. But again, this is Spirit getting out of their base, being able to make these moves. And Falcons, just the game, the grasp they had on the game, it's absolutely slipping away.
It's gone. I mean, there's no lead anymore at all. Even if it's like a 1K or whatever like that, it's Spirit now perhaps in the driving seat themselves. You can feel that Falcons maybe wanted to get something else with that push, with the Malmarine positioning, try to catch someone off guard so they can get a push, but Falcons now maybe the ones in trouble. Spirit. Some excellent macro plays.
They're looking great, and Radan just continuing to hold that top spot. And if sort of the dynamic of the game continues, you can only imagine this Morph is going to stay a step ahead at the Sven.
And he's got a great 1v1 matchup there.
Yep.
So there's no Bloodthorn. I mean, the Brute, of course, can switch up to go for the Bloodthorn, but Amar... I mean, maybe Amar's reconsidering. Like, he's probably like, man, this Lincoln's actually didn't really do what I wanted it to.
It kind of didn't, right? And honestly, it felt kind of un-Amari. I thought he would go for something a bit more aggressive and for the quick kills, but actually took the safer route.
And maybe he was thinking he can just block like the DK stun or one of those primal jumps on the initial go, and they could have closed things out, but that was not the case in Spirit. Feeling so much more comfortable. Everyone now has those big core items as well to fight back. Falcons, they're going to try again to go for it, but it feels like they're trying to force the issue here.
For sure, and I think the big time is going to be when Radan's able to get the BKB on top of the Manta.
Yep.
You know, this kind of game, you give him the BKB and the Manta, it's very unlikely he'll die in these team fights, and you can guarantee he's going to be able to get a huge amount done.
Can Falcons get the catch on him when he's not ready? Miposhka is at the ready. He's got backup too. It seems like they always know this move is coming. Even Laurel TPing back just in case they know the fight's coming in. Yeah, just super well prepared. BKB looks to be the call there for Amar. So they do have triple BKB timing on the side of Falcons to be able to take a fight.
Radiant are scanning.
But unless they really catch Radan by surprise, killing this Morph is going to be incredibly difficult.
Shivas is also finished up
Collapse.
from Collapse.
He's ready to go. I mean, really, the main man when it came to keeping this game alive for them.
He has been very clutch on his Primal Beast in a lot of situations. Let's see if Falcons is ready for this, if they're able to get a jump themselves. Problem is they're actually under a ward right now, so Malmarine is completely under vision. Spirit have their pick of the litter for a second here. Smoke on smoke.
This could be quite the fight for Spirit. Got slightly the better information. Sure, Falcons have the sort of better area to hold from, but Spirit know exactly what they're walking into. They know that they're all here.
So watch the positioning of these supports. Miposhka's pretty deep.
They're going to get the jump over towards him. The Collapse comes over in return. He's got the pulverize to hold the tiny position, but the BKB is already out. They turn, they take down Miposhka. Now they look over towards Collapse. Collapse have put the Shiva's guard, trying to draw their attention away from the rest of the team. Sharpshooter comes in. Toss over towards the DK. Lyle turns with the Dragon Tail onto Skeeter. Radan turns into the Tiny. Avalanche onto the two of them. He's got the toss burst damage on towards Amar. Not enough to kill him. An immediate buyback from Miposhka as he looks to rejoin the fight. Lyle getting chased down by Falcons. They'll bring him low. They'll bring him down as Lyle will fall. See if Radan can do any sort of a cleanup. He's got his eyes on Skeeter. He's going to bail out. Realizes this fight is no longer a fight that they want to take. Miposhka, he'll go down a second time. Falcons, they'll take the fight, and with that, they'll be able to claim their Roshan.
So cool the way they take the fight. They see Miposhka steps up for a quick second. He wants to go for... I'm actually surprised he's the one that goes for the D ward himself, because he reveals his positioning there. They instantly jump him, and they don't have to save. The Sven is able to just pretty much beat on whichever target he wants. Bit of a mistake there this time from Spirit. Falcons capitalize massively. They do lose the Chen, but either way, well worth it. Skeeter able to hit these targets nicely this time around in the fight.
Yeah, and you can see as well, you know, for Radan on the Morph, he was watching kind of the way it started that fight, and with sort of how quickly his teammates were going down, there was only so much he could do. He knew exactly when to bail out and know that that was not the fight to fully commit for. As everybody gets next item done now, Satanic finished on the Morphling.
He had to be cautious because he did lose the SD so early, so the save was gone, and then, you know, Collapse did end up dying afterwards, so Radan, he does spend his gold, which could cause him into some issues. But with Satanic, very survivable, but if he does get caught and popped, things could just close out quickly again also.
I mean, it's necessary to spend up here. The rest of the team, right, doesn't have buybacks. You lose a fight here, Even if you have a buyback on the Morph, the rest of the team don't, it's probably game over. So they're going all in. Gleipnir's been finished up on Mirror.
And it's still, at the end of the day, it is still difficult for Falcons, as we saw in the last one. Going that high ground the secondary time, I don't know if they'll make that same mistake versus Collapse again.
Sure. How do you want to go about doing it differently if you're Falcons then? How do you try and approach the high ground here? Do you not quite do that yet? Do you look for the tier 2 bottom?
I think you maybe just still farm it up. Smoke out from Spirit to maybe catch them off guard here. Since they have the Aegis and Cheese, there's this ward, but the scan will catch them perfectly.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Spirit. Do get caught here by the scan.
And now Skeeter does have MKB, so he has this matching damage item to be able to deal versus that butterfly that was picked up pretty early from Radahn. So does have an answer, and of course they can go down the route of the Bloodthorn if they want to, of course on Amar. He still is thinking, he's been switching his itemization like 8 different times still. Thinking what he does want to go for. Falcons reestablishing themselves after one big fight around that rush. Aegis and Cheese. Ooh, and amp damage now also for Skeeter. Overall for Spirit, do have to be careful from... I think Miposhka just has to be much more careful with his positioning up in this upcoming fight. He cannot be that far up to go for some type of D-ward.
Set up on the high ground. They know the Falcons are coming for them. Team Spirit.
Tough fight versus this amp damage, Sven. Skeeter. Is he just gonna jump in? He's thinking about it.
Bilal, he's good with the jump as well. The turn towards the other way, get the sun on towards him. The bushwhack's there. Straight away, Skeeter turns towards Mirror. The pole breaks and collapse. Holds Skeeter back. Mirror will go down, but the Aegis is taken out of the hands of Skeeter. So there's what they did on round 2. He's come up with a blink out. Team Spirit, they want to try and chase. They are one hero down without the Hope Wing. They get the Dragon Tail opening onto Mallory. Collapse thinking about charging forward, but he'll hold back from this.
Don chasing in still. He's got the
stepping
Insatiable.
Forward. Doesn't want to try and lead in on this. They'll take this. They lose the support, but they're able to take the Aegis away, and they're able to stop the push.
Very cool. Scary, this Morphling, when he turns into the Brood, pops the Insatiable Hunger, shifts back, and he actually has double damage pretty much. I think it was plus 300 there that I saw on this Morphling, so... Falcons will give the respect to that. That was a crazy jump from them, too. Just waltzing into high ground blind to go for it.
And the high ground attempts, other than that top set of barracks that they're able to find, Falcons haven't been going too hot for them, despite having the lead, having these map objectives in their favor, such as the Aegis.
It's where it's hard to find these Shadow Demons and these Savers. It allows Collapse without a Blink Dagger in the base to get these easier initiations a lot of the time. Like a Skeeter just jumps in and forces it. It gives a natural initiation. How many misses was it? I think one of those got absorbed by a tree, but either way. And yeah, look at Radahn's damage. They instantly know they have to reset when that Insatiable gets popped by him, so... Good on Falcons to be able to get that reset. And I did see the Halberd, of course, coming out there from Mar, so looking to be more of a preventative carry, anti-carry kind of in a way as this Broodmother. Feels like a different kind of style from Amar than I feel like we used to see.
Yeah, I guess it just feels what obviously has two very solid kind of carry-esque heroes in the two other roles, right? This Tiny and Sven.
Hey, he does still scale super hard as it gets to later stages anyway, because you're a Broodmother, so you're still universal and you get your crazy 25 attack speed, but... Not the route that I fully expected from Amar, and they're keeping their net worth on those two cores in particular very, very good to be able to keep the scaling versus the Morph. Even though Malrine falling behind a little bit, they do have the scaling on those two. And the supports too, I have to be honest. Crit has really kept up with the pace as the Snapfire, even though it's been like kind of constant pushing, that sometimes maybe your supports can struggle when getting that net worth. Crit's been able to keep it there.
Seeing how Falcons want to try and make a move whilst they don't have the Aegis. The last two times they sent back and waited for the Roche, but that has only given really time for Radahn to continue to just grow this lead.
Checking what other... I mean, they do have a couple item timings that are soon being hit as well, too. The Conda's about to be done for Malrine. They almost have Sven's next item as well, too. I believe the Satanic, so maybe just waiting for those to all coincide together before they look for that next big fight. While for Spirit... I'm sure Radahn is just telling them, like, let me just keep farming. If I can get to this later stage of the game, I can probably be able to carry this. They did get another item timing, though. Laurel, 18, and he's got the Aghanims.
Radiant are scanning.
Might be able to catch off guard here. They have this ward that's outside. Amar, if he's not careful, might just get caught.
Just outside of vision, they're able to put the Linkers again in with a follow-up stun. They've got the pushback as well. They're able to lock him down, snake him out. No sort of heals coming out from Snaking. Will be able to save him.
Playing on that vision perfectly. The 70 seconds, they could look to go for another kill here. Can they find anybody? Immediately, all the Falcons splitting up.
Dire are scanning.
I mean, both teams just really understand how to play this map pretty beautifully. The moment one gets pressured, the other just splits back up, gets that farm continue going.
We'll check again on the replay there.
He's playing like just in and out of that vision you see there, but then boom, they get that catch. Lincolns will only help for so much. Isn't able to get that BKB off.
Falcons continuously just getting sort of shaken up, despite the lead that they hold.
I mean, they're still keeping it. Somehow they're still keeping it, even though this Morphling continues to get online. They're keeping that farm super high. And that they're not really like overreacting or anything. The Brood dies, nobody kind of panics. They keep their farm. They're waiting for that Brood to respawn, because Amar, if he does get BKB off in a lot of those situations, might just be able to survive. But again, Radahn, another item's been finished up. I believe that is his. Is that the Scotty pretty much done?
He's got it done. He's got it done. Yeah, this Morphling he is massive.
I'm gonna try to keep tabs of how much damage he has, because maybe that's also why Amar did go for the Lincolns. I was trying to like think more besides just the DK stun, the primal thing. It's to prevent the Morph from turning into the Brood, getting insatiable hunger, because it's legit a double damage. It makes this Morph absolutely out of control.
Yeah, maybe so the matchup able to sort of be turned on its heads now that the game goes on. I mean, Falcons with this lineup and deep with their play early, they were not expecting this game to still be going 36 minutes in if everything was going to go to plan for Falcons.
Look at this wraparound. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Gleipnir set up onto the two, and the pushback as well onto Skeeter, toss up into the side, but at the same time, Radahn and Lar, they're able to get over to the back lines, take Snaking out.
Falcons is fully split up.
They're ready to go and help join the rest of the team as Malorine's BKB is going to soon come to a finish collapse. He's got the control with the pulverized. Lal and Radahn looking to bring over the damage to try and threaten Malorine. Jump forward from Lal. Sentries down. They've got the detection. Again with the bushwhacks from Mira holding Skeeter back, so Skeeter cannot get involved in this fight. A beautiful onslaught from collapse over the two of them. Skeeter, he's going to likely fall through the BKB as Radahn takes him down. Jump forward, they're not done yet. They'll look to Amar. He's got the BKB still at the ready there, so will manage to get out in time and avoid the stun. They're trying to chase though, Radahn, seeing if he can get his hands on the Spider, but Amar, a bit too speedy, will make it back to the safety of the base. Still their Spirit, they take the 3 heroes down, and now 37 minutes in, Spirit, they take the gold lead.
That was versus the Cheese too. Kind of awkward to start there for the fight for Falcons. They're trying to go for a wraparound, and it's pretty much the worst hero that they could have get started on first. The Chen gets caught from the Morph. They don't get any spells off there. They might just lose. They might just lose the set here.
Yeah, no Skeeter, no Mallory, neither of them with buyback. And the push for Spirit is pretty severe here with Radahn beating into the tier 3s, exposing the barracks. I mean, they have to probably just at least let this set go. And there's still a tier 2 up in the mid lane, so Spirit won't be able to immediately swing across. But
they're looking for another catch.
But they are setting up on the side lanes, and Amar, of course, BKB is still on cooldown for 35 seconds. Collapses in with a set of him.
Almost just kills him.
Very close to. Amar lucky to get away from this one.
Lincoln's definitely saving his life since he can't get grabbed, get some tower push going, but that one feels where its Spirit has completely blown up in the game. I thought the last one probably was, but Falcons did some impressive moves to bring things back over that Roche. Now this Morph getting critical mass. And now I'm seeing the supports be able to cast their spells on the Sven too. I think I saw Skeeter get like 2 attacks off in that last fight. He just got purged. Gleipnir fully CC'd here from Mira and from Miposhka. So it feels like it's getting harder and harder for Falcons to be able to take those fights versus this Morph.
Radiant are scanning.
I mean, Radahn has got 28k net worth. Now, Radahn on his Morph, he doesn't really tend to lose games when he's got this sort of a lead.
No, and now they're the ones to be able to finally get the Roche too for themselves. Falcons feeling like they did need that one to be able to have a fighting chance in these next upcoming fights. And let's see if they look to go for just some type of like team pressure move or something like that, because it seems like the team fights overall now feel too difficult since Collapse he really can just charge through. especially with this Aghanims. Gonna be very strong.
I do like, I think was that Miposhka who took the axe from Roche?
I believe so, because he can just double purge the Sven. I think it's all about just controlling Skeeter. I need the 3 cores, right? The triple melee cores can definitely suffer versus that SD, so they already have it on the 2 important ones. Falcons. Can they somehow reestablish this game? Versus a Morphling with their lineup. Feels very difficult, but if there's any team that can do it, perhaps it can be them. But again, it does feel very difficult now at this point with an Aegis on the Morph. And they did, I believe, yeah, Falcons did lose their gem also on that last one, so they are carrying that one as well. On the side of Spirit. And an Aeon Disc on the Shadow Demon, so Miposhka can play in a bit of a better positioning too.
Sure.
He can play a little more aggressively.
Yeah, he's always going to get these purges off. It's going to be very, very difficult to stop him from playing his hand in the team fights.
Rattle Cage for Collapse, big chunk of armor versus the Sven, all these little, I mean, I say little things. These big things do add up, of course. Ogre Steel Totem also for the Shadow Demon for positioning. Falcons, what's the next timing?
It's sort of hard to find.
It really is hard.
feel like, you know, Falcons with this lineup, they were all in on kind of plan A.
Yeah.
I don't know if necessarily plan B was here with this draft. They felt
like
that this game should have been over 25 minutes in. They weren't able to do it. They have that slip up. It gets heavily punished by Spirit. And now Falcons are having to play a different type of game with this lineup that they weren't expecting to play.
They had like that little, maybe like not like a plan B, but it was like that little mini plan B, the Roche where they kind of came it back. Because I thought at that point that was where the Morph was going to fully just take over, but they did do a big comeback. But now, is there another one that they can actually do? Maybe just catching people off guard with like a Hex or something like that, or maybe the tiny burst catches people off guard, but Spirit now in full stride, getting their own push going. Catapults. And
Amar
should be fine.
It's going to be okay. Another Force also picked up by Snaking, just trying to make sure they have some sort of tool to break the core out of whatever combo gets laid down onto them by Team Spirit in these pushes.
The big thing Falcons still do have is the toss-back mechanic, right? So they still can always stall and be able to catch heroes if Spirit does play out of position. So Spirit does still have to be a bit careful with how they look to pressure. Don't want to be split up at all. So I imagine just group up here for the push.
One thing's for sure so far from Spirit, we've seen them be definitely more cautious about how they go about the high ground in comparison to what Falcons have been tripped up upon in this game 1.
Spirit are definitely quite a bit more careful. They just send these Morphling illusions. Tower's dropping. Someone's going to have to show. Amar will. And they saw the Scatter Blast from the right side, so they know that Falcons is smoked up somewhere. Toss to just clear a wave. Malrine will just be able to delete that one. So the push at the least is stopped for Falcons.
That's level 25 for Radahn now with that Wisdom Rune.
Malrine has found an amp damage. Okay, maybe that is the other difference maker, if he can actually get just a big one-shot or something like that onto some of these heroes. Not easy, though. As we said, Miposhka Aeon Disc, and that's the one that they want to go for in most situations, so... How does Falcons approach this fight?
A minute left on the Aegis. Radahn's ready to get stuck in. Straight up to the barracks.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
I'll get the fortification out. TPs to come into play from Falcons as they're going to try and start to set up something.
Toss back.
And see if they can do it the once. They get the toss back on towards the more. Can they burst through him? He's able to put the man to the catch up the cookies on afterwards. They've taken the Aegis out of his hands. The barracks, of course, have been taken. See round 2 on the Morphling. Radahn able to get away with the waveform. BKB's been popped hit by Skeeter. Can he get his hands on anyone to look over towards Lyle? But Lyle's forced out of the base, forced again up to the high ground.
Beautiful force.
They'll keep Lyle safe. So the barracks are gone. They lose the Aegis, but it was going to be timing out anyway.
Perfect
Everything
timing.
continues to go fully in the control and favor of Spirit.
That's God's strength used as well, so they can look to re-go as soon as it does wear off. They know.
Oh, and they're ready. Smoke up over towards the side. Lyle, is he going to be able to find anyone coming back from the Tormentor? He's definitely going to be tempted to hunt, and he's going to find Snaking. He's out. No buyback on Snaking.
Straight to bottom. They can go. See how comfortable Radahn does feel to do so with the cheese. He also has buyback if necessary. I mean, Malrine's looking, but there's no God strength. They're going to try.
Well, look at the toss back. So now towards Lyle, they get the stun to follow up, but straight away they're just focusing down the Tiny. Lyle's falling over, Collapse goes crashing with the onslaught. They immediately delete the two of them. Mallory and Amara dead. They're onto the tier 4s. Buybacks have to come out straight away here from Falcons. Spirit, they'll turn their attention over towards the final set of barracks in the tier 3 down bottom.
How long on God's strength? 8 seconds.
Still no snaking for 30. Tier 3's gone. Mirror
Controlled.
trying to scout things out in the tree line. And Mallory, he's got the toss back.
They get the stun.
The opening stun, but he's got a lot of HP here.
Fully
He's sitting
stunned.
full HP and straight away Collapse. He's in with a backup, comes in with a pulverize onto more Skeeter, takes him out. Skeeter does have buyback, also having to use it immediately.
Radon.
He's looking over towards Amar in the tree line. Amar pops the BKB. Skeeter tries to chase him outside of the base, but the pulverize is there again. Collapse. He's able to grab him once more. It's a dieback on Skeeter.
Wow.
Murray tries to come in with a BKB, but he has to run. They've lost their Sven, they've lost their carry, and they've almost certainly lost this game. GG is called. Team Spirit, with a beautiful hold, turn this game around. And my goodness, if you watched this game for the first 15 minutes, you would not have thought this would have ended up going this way, Fogged.
The team play.